Senate Republicans are pushing back against Biden energy policies that will hurt American families, things like heating oil, natural gas, and of course gasoline for your car. Those prices have been on the rise for months now. For more on why this is happening, let's welcome in Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Senator, good morning. Nice to have you back on.
Good to see you again.
Senator, quickly, I just wanted to get your reaction to what happened in Virginia last night. Glenn Youngkin shocking the political world in a very, very blue state. What'd you make of this?
Well, I think that's America reacting, and specifically in this case, Virginians rising up and saying we do not like the direction of the country. What President Biden has been doing, what Democrats in the House and the Senate have continued to do to be able to press all these crazy liberal policies, to be able to push back on their progressive agenda. All of those things have happened over the past several months. We've seen what's happened in schools with the mandates. People don't like it. People of Virginia, even in a very blue state, don't like it. And they have pushed back hard and be able to say, we want Republican leadership. That's why 70+% of the country thinks we're going in the wrong direction right now under Biden's leadership. And Virginia is the first sign of that, I think. And it looks very close now that New Jersey will be the second in that to be able to also say they're going to push back on that. And yet another blue state will turn red.
You know, sometimes it takes some Oklahoma sense to make sense of what's going on. And what you just said, I think, is the takeaway. People don't like it. I think you're exactly right. 70+% of the American people don't like the direction we're going, according to that NBC poll you just cited. Really shocking, maybe a sign of things to come in 2022. But now the focus shifts to that election. Senator, you've been a critic of President Joe Biden's energy agenda. Gas prices are skyrocketing. They're $8 a gallon in parts of this country right now. Unheard of. The president took almost 1,000 people to Scotland with him for a climate summit. China and Russia were noticeably absent. What'd you make of that and what's going on right now?
I think that's status quo from what's actually happened. The world seems to look at the United States and to say, we want you to send cash to the rest of the world on climate issues, while India, Russia, China continue to be able to increase their outputs of carbon and methane. And the United States has done what we need to be able to do. We're passionate about clean air and clean water. We just don't want to kill our economy in the process or to ignore basic reality. 98% of the vehicles that are on the road today are run by oil, 98% of that. And when the president continues to say, we're just going to make everyone flip to electric all of a sudden, that's not how it works. A lot of us drive 20-year-old vehicles, 15-year-old vehicles. We're not going to try to flip over to this, and it hurts the people in poverty and the people with fixed incomes the most. So it started day one with the president locking out leasing for new federal leasing for oil and gas around the country. He's making it hard to do pipeline, obviously knocked out the Keystone Pipeline, their new Build Back Better bill that they're trying to be able to push through, this new $2 trillion bill they're putting out there, blocks off oil production from Alaska. We right now are buying more oil from Russia than we're buying from Alaska. And President Biden continues to go to Russia and say, send us more, when Americans can actually have American jobs, reduce the cost of energy if we're actually supplying our own energy. So the focus we should have is supply our own, and that'll bring prices down.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The Democrats, they just, everything they do seems to be inconsistent with their message. They're going to Scotland to talk about lowering our global carbon footprint, yet they travel with 48 lawmakers, 6 governors. Pete Buttigieg was able to get off the couch and go to that. He's not worried about the supply chain crisis, but almost 1,000 people went with the Biden delegation. That was the most by far of any country. I do want to talk about infrastructure. Your colleague, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, talked about that tax and spend Build Back Better infrastructure bill yesterday. Take a listen.
For the sake of the country, I urge the House to vote and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Holding this bill hostage is not going to work in getting my support for the reconciliation bill. Simply put, I will not support a bill that is this consequential without thoroughly understanding the impact that it'll have on our national debt, our economy, and most importantly, all of our American people.
Senator, I'm scratching my head. How does this play out? Do we actually see a vote on this thing before the holidays?
We don't see a vote on the next week. Remember, this was the bill that they said they were going to have done in July. Then they said they were going to have it done in September. Then they said they were going to have it done in October. Now it's November, and they don't even have it written yet. Literally, there's large sections of it they're still writing. They're still talking about decreasing with the highest income individuals their tax rate with what's called a SALT state and local tax deduction where they give them a break on it. Those are for the highest income individuals in the country. Democrats are still talking about that. They're still working through a lot of different energy policies they want to be able to stick in. They're still working on an immigration plan that they want to be able to get in to give amnesty to people all across the country. Those are things that they're still, quote unquote, writing, as well as a lot of the other tax issues on it. So Joe Manchin's right in the sense that he's laying out and saying, hey, we don't even know what's in this bill. I'm not going to say I'm going to support it until I know it. I understand where he's coming from on that one, but the more that I see in this bill, the more I don't like it every single day. And even the infrastructure bill they passed through just a couple of weeks ago has $500 billion in new debt spending in it. Right. Typically, infrastructure is paid for. This one has $500 billion in debt. We have no idea what the debt cost is going to be for the next entitlement bill that they call Build Back Better, but it's just a large entitlement package.
Hopefully we know what's in this bill before it does go to the floor for a vote. Senator, I just quickly, 1993, 1 year after Bill Clinton, off-year election, Republican governors won in Virginia and New Jersey. And then in 1994, during those Newt Gingrich midterms, 54 seats were picked up in the House and several in the Senate as well. Do you think we're headed in that direction in 2022? Quickly, we've just got about 15 seconds.
I do, actually. You can actually go to 2010 as well, when we picked up 63 seats after they ran through Obamacare. So, yes, I do think we're headed for a wave.
All right. Senator James Lankford, thanks so much for your time. Great to see you again. We appreciate it.
Good to see you again.